everybody, I'm Seow Wei. I'm a certified dietitian from Naluri. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you, in case if you haven't heard of what is a dietitian and you are not sure that what do we do, we as a dietitian, we help people to eat healthier, to modify their diet, mainly to stay healthy, to prevent chronic diseases, as well as to help those who are already have disease to manage their chronic disease and to treat certain diseases. So today I'm going to share with you guys a very basic fundamental concept of healthy eating and some of the tips on how can we actually practice healthy eating into our daily lives. All right. So first of all, thank you so much for being here today. Before we go into what is healthy eating all about, I would like to invite all of you to join me in this little groundwork activity before we start. So can you guys have 1 minute for me to join me together? Try to reflect back. What is the main reason for you to join this session today? What makes you interested about the topic of healthy eating? You can do a self-reflection, close your eyes to think about it for 1 minute, or if you feel like you want to share it in the chat, feel free to do so. Try to think about it. Why is it so? What makes you interested to know more about healthy eating? Is that because you want to manage your weight? Or is that because you feel that you are not fit enough? Or you don't feel that you have enough energy level? You want to improve your energy level? Or is that because you want to have a better bowel movement, better digestion? Or you want to improve your skin health? Or is that because recently you have done any blood tests or any health body checkup and you realize that your health is not at the optimal condition? You would like to know more to improve your overall health, to prevent disease? Or if you already have certain diseases, you would like to know more, or you just want to know general well-being, probably to enhance your immune system. Yeah, try to think about it. I'm sure there must be a reason, at least a reason for you to be here today. Yeah. Before we go into what is it all about. Okay, if you guys have done your reflection, yeah, you can choose to share it or not to share it. Up to you. Right. So the reason I want to ask about all this is because there is still a very major study done, what we call the Global Burden of Disease Study, done from 1990 to 2017, over 27 years across 195 countries. They look at the dietary patterns of the people and try to associate it with the risk of death. So what they found is that diet is actually the major contributor to early death worldwide for over the past 27 years. And in fact, 1 in 5 deaths worldwide is due to poor diet. And why is it so? This is mainly because of diet quality actually affects highly related to chronic diseases that we see nowadays, especially diseases that we are very, very familiar with. For example, cardiovascular disease, which includes heart diseases, strokes, hypertension, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. So these are the diseases that is highly associated with lifestyle, especially dietary pattern, and is also the leading cause of death worldwide. So what is actually considered a good diet versus a poor diet? How do we know that whether we are having a good diet or having a poor diet? So these are the very typical or general qualities, or the key things that we look at for most of the studies. Basically, if your diet is high in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, omega-3, nuts, and seeds, or poor in it's low in sodium, processed meat, red meat, trans fat, sugar sweetened beverages, it's considered a good diet. Whereas if let's say your diet is very poor in whole grain, usually not really, you don't really have whole grains, you don't have that much of the fruits, vegetables, omega-3, nuts and seeds, but you have a lot of high sodium food, high processed meat, high trans fats and high sugar sweetened beverages in your diet, then we will consider it as relatively a poor diet, right? So a healthy diet isn't fancy. I'm sure you have heard of many diets out there. If you Google, you will see, how to eat healthily. There are so many ways out there. It can be clean eating. You must eat certain types of food, in certain days, so there are so many information out there. But let us go back to the very basic about healthy eating. It's basically all about quality and quantity. So whenever you talk about a diet, we always look at these two parameters. So whether your diet it's high in quality and how much is the food that you are taking, both we would take into consideration to see whether is it a good diet or poor diet. So the first thing about diet quality is that when we look at a diet, we usually will see how many food groups that you are eating in a particular meal or in a day. So for example, you need to see, try to recall for the past meal that you had previously, how many food groups that you have. So food groups here meaning vegetables is a group, fruits is a group, whole grains or any type of grain is a group. So it can be rice, it can be oats or wheat, or tubers, it can be sweet potato, pumpkin, any types of starchy vegetables, or low-fat dairies, or animal proteins, lean animal proteins, or legumes, beans, any types of beans, or nuts or seeds. So these are the main 8 types of food groups out there that we consider in healthy eating. So the first thing first, what we want to discuss is about whole grain. So just now you have mentioned that diet that is considered a good diet or high quality diet, the first criteria is rich in whole grain. So what is whole grain actually? So when we plant a certain type of grain, for example, you see, let's say a rice grain. This is how a rice grain will look like. The outer layer of the grain, which we call the bran, is where we store all the fiber and vitamins. And the small inner part of the grain here is the germ, where it stores a lot of important, mainly micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. And you see the very big part of the grain over here in the middle is what we call the endosperm, is where it stores the energy for the food, which is the sugar, the carbohydrate in the source of energy. So what happened is that this is how it looks like for the original grain. And usually what we see in most of the products, for example, a white rice, a white bread, these are what we call refined grain or white grain. What happened is that the industrial process has already removed the outer layer, polished the grain, removed certain parts of the nutrients, micronutrients, and what it left is just the starch. It's just the energy. So which is very common in our day-to-day diet. So what's the difference is that you don't get the fiber part of it, which is very, very essential for our bowel health, especially our digestion, our immune system. So what are the examples of whole grain? There are so many examples out there where you can get multi-grains from, let's say, brown rice, black rice, red rice, even whole wheat, oats, it's pretty common, or whole corn, buckwheat, millet, quinoa, barley. So all these multi-grains, it's what we call the whole grains, unpolished grain, the most natural look, natural form of grain. So what we are aiming for is not to eat entirely, eat all your grains whole, but try to have it 50% of your grains, at least make them to have whole grain. For example, if let's say in the morning you have a white bread, lunchtime usually you have white rice, dinner you have noodles. So you can try to at least adjust a little bit, or let's say your breakfast usually is white bread, you want to change it to wholemeal bread, or you want to change it to oats. Or let's say if you are cooking at home for dinner, then you can probably want to incorporate a little bit of brown rice, black rice, red rice, or multigrain rice into your white rice. So at least you can have some form of nutrients from the whole grain rather than just refined grain. Right. So next, we all know that fruits and vegetables is very important to our health, and no doubt it's very important, and it's also one of the thing that most of us is not meeting, especially when we are so busy and we don't have time to prepare our meals. When we eat out, chances are, there is always lack of fruits and vegetables. So the recommendation for eating vegetables is try to have 5 servings a day, as many color as possible. We aiming for 5 colors a day, ideally. The reason being, for many colors, is that different color is responsible for different functions in the body, different immune fighting functions in the body, and chronic disease prevention as well. So you can see that there's mainly red color, orange color, yellow color, green, purple. So feel free to have different colorful fruits and veggies in your daily diet. We are aiming at least 5 servings, so which is standard recommendation for 3 servings of vegetables, 2 servings of fruits a day. So what is 3 servings of veggie? We are aiming at half a cup of cooked veggie as 1 serving, or 1 cup of raw veggies as 1 serving. So which is about 1 fist size of veggie. So for fruits, which is 2 servings. So if you are someone who are active, pretty active, at least have some physical activities in your daily life, and your weight is at the pretty normal category, the recommendation is to have 3 servings of veggie, 2 servings of fruits. However, if you are someone who have, your body weight is slightly higher than the normal range, or you are not really that active, your lifestyle is pretty sedentary, your work is mostly sitting down there, working in front of computer, or you are having high blood sugar, or you are having diabetes, then we try to focus more on having vegetables rather than fruits, because fruits, there is also sugar in fruits that will contribute to excess calories, excess sugar intake. So try to make use of the veggie, have more veggie as much as possible, aiming at least 4 servings per day. All right. So next, we are also looking at when we talk about quality of food. Besides having a better type of grain, or more vegetables, more fruits, we are also pretty much into the quality of the overall food that we are having, in terms of how is it processed. So the less processed, the better. The more fresh, the better. So probably not something that your grandmother wouldn't recognize, something that is pretty new, pretty highly processed, right? So especially for protein intake, so choose minimally processed proteins, quality protein. So what do we mean by quality protein? Is that protein that is it in its original form as much as possible. This is because for those who are having, we know that processed meat is highly associated with risk of cancer, and it's because of the trans fat content and sodium content, and so this is considered a very important component of a poor diet. So that's why we try our best to fulfill our protein intake from natural sources as much as possible. It can be a fresh fish, or fresh egg, poultry, or fresh milk, or even milk powder is okay. Or if you are vegetarian, you try to go for more plant-based sources. Or if you are not vegetarian, it's also encouraged to go for more plant-based protein sources. For example, soy products, any kind of beans, green beans, black beans, red beans, chickpeas. So these are all the quality protein out there. All right. So after we know about quality, it's not about, I'm eating quality types of food. I am eating quinoa. I'm eating oats. Then I can eat as much as possible, as many as I want. Yeah, it all comes back to the two criteria that we're looking at: quality and quantity. So even though you are eating a high quality food, high quality types of food choices, you still need to consider the quantity part of it. How much you are eating. Even you are eating brown rice, it doesn't mean that you can eat 3 bowls of brown rice for one meal. Quantity still matters. So even you are eating a good quality fish compared to, let's say, a processed meat, you still have to take care of the portion. So what are we talking about portions here? The general healthy eating portion is that try to divide your plate at least into 3 parts. Try to fill at least a third of your plate if you can, or although the ideal portion is half a plate. If you cannot do that, you can try to start with at least 1/3 of your plate with non-starchy vegetables. So when we talk about non-starchy vegetables, what is non-starchy vegetables? It means vegetables that doesn't contain a significant amount of carbohydrates. So here it means it's not potato, it's not sweet potato, it's not corn or pumpkin or yam. Okay, so it's other vegetable other than all these. For example, a green leafy vegetables can be a mushroom, it can be a bitter gourd, different types of different colors of vegetables. So try to meet at least a 1/4 plate or 2 fish size per meal. Then you need to have your quality protein. Quality protein from either a fish or egg or chicken or meat or tofu, preferably in a lower fat cooking method, which is not deep frying. Later I'll explain more about the cooking method. Try to have a quarter plate of protein, quality protein, or 1 fish size if you can. And then you have another fish size of your carbohydrate, your complex carbohydrate, preferably your whole grain that I mentioned just now, different types of grains like brown rice, red rice, multigrain. Or even if you cannot start with multigrain, you can still mix in a little bit of a whole grain into your white rice as a start. Okay, or any type, even you're taking noodles, or even you are taking potato as your carbohydrate sources, try to stick to a 1/4 plate or 1 fish size per meal. And next, if you have chance, try to have fruits like I shared just now, 1 to 2 servings a day according to your activity level. If it's not possible, you can also take fruits as your tea time. So fruits is excellent tea time choices if compared to other possibly unhealthy snack choices. So you can have fruits in between your main meal, for example, afternoon tea or morning tea. Right. So after we talk about the quality, the quantity part of the diet, so how do we put everything into practice into your everyday life? If let's say this is like breakfast, so how do you do a high quality and high quantity breakfast for a very, very simple one? So you always look back at the quality part. So quality means how many food groups do you have? How many quality minimally processed food group you have? So you look at from carbohydrate sources, it can be from tubers, from whole grains, or from fruits. So let's say you want to choose a tuber for breakfast, then you can have at least a type of tubers. It can be a steamed or baked sweet potato. Then there is another food groups. Probably you want to choose like a animal protein from egg. Then you can have 2 soft-boiled eggs. So here you go. You have 2 quality food groups, minimally processed, and the portion is also reasonable. Or if you are very busy, you don't have time to cook, for your breakfast, you can even have a fruit as 1 food group in the morning. Can be a banana, can be an apple, an orange, 1 serving, and another serving of protein coming from either, you can have a low-fat dairy. So low-fat dairy here can be a low-fat milk, a glass of low-fat milk, or a cup of low-fat yogurt. So this will meet out with a very nutritious breakfast that is very, very easy without much preparation time. Or if you have a little bit more time in the morning, you can even do breakfast with 3 food groups. There is carbohydrate from grains, your whole grain bread, wholemeal bread. Then there is, for example, protein from legumes like a baked bean, or have vegetables that is as easy as tomato. You can bake your tomato or even just eat it raw. So this will have 3 food groups in the morning. All right. If you have a little bit more time, you want to have more nutritious breakfast, you can even have multiple food groups of breakfast. For example, a very simple breakfast, overnight oat. This can be done, a day before, before your breakfast. You can just prep everything in a jar or in a cup, in a container. You just put in your grain. It can be oats, raw oats, any type of oats that you prefer. Add in a low-fat dairy. It can be low-fat milk or low-fat yogurt. Put some fresh fruits or some dried fruits that you like, and some nuts or seeds if you prefer, almond, walnut, or chia seed. Just put everything, in the fridge the night before. The next morning, you can just eat it immediately in the morning to save your time. Right. So if you also have some time in the morning, like this can be also a breakfast, but this is actually a very good choice for lunch and dinner. A very quick and simple and balanced lunch to have a whole grain wrap. So a wrap, you just have to prepare a wrap. Preferably you choose those wrap that is a whole grain wrap, whole grain tortilla wrap. Then choose the vegetables that you like. It can be lettuce, tomato, cucumber. Those that is easily prepared, that no need to you just wash it and cut a little bit. No need to use a lot of time. Low fat dairy. I would suggest to use yogurt dressing as the sauce, the base of your tortilla wrap, instead of those high fat dressing or highly processed dressing, which will help you to save a lot of unnecessary sodium, calories, fat from there. At the same time, also provide you with quality proteins and also probiotics from the yogurt, which is a very, very nutritious dressing. And not to forget your quality proteins from, it can be animal products like maybe a steamed chicken breast or tuna, or plant-based proteins like tofu or canned beans. So these are the different variety of combinations that you can put for a very simple whole grain wrap in the morning or for lunch or for dinner. It fulfills all the different quality ingredients of food groups that you have, and also it can be a very nicely portioned meal as well. All right. So for those of you who wants to, interested to prepare your own meal, and you don't have that much of the time and probably lack of idea and do not know what to cook, for yourself or for your family, I will highly suggest you to always consider doing one pot meal. So which is pretty convenient, and it can be also have endless possibility of combination of things that you want to put inside. So one pot meal can be one pot porridge. So one pot porridge is something that is very easy. You can just prepare any type of broth that you want. It can be a bone broth, vegetable broth, or seafood stocks that you have with you. You can even prepare it ahead of time, like make it into ice cube. Just put it in the freezer and use it whenever you want. Add in your grains that you like, preferably add some whole grain or some corn to improve the food diet quality of the meal, and any vegetables that you like as well. So for porridge, I would suggest those veggie that can can be cooked longer. At the same time, it doesn't change the texture that much. For example, carrots, onions, mushrooms. So these will all go well with the porridges. And also, not to forget a lean animal protein or plant proteins. Add some chicken or add some tofu, add some lean meat or seafood that you want. So just put everything, boil it, and then you'll get your whole meal, all the nutrients all in one for your main meal, and even for a very big family as well. It can be enjoyed for children, for elderly. So up to you, up to your creativity. All right. So even if you have a pressure cooker at home, then it's even better. You can just put everything in the pressure cooker, and it can be done within 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Or if you for one pot meal, you can also prepare one pot noodle soup. So one pot noodle soup is something that it's also my favorite. You can just use back the same soup broth that you have, or any base that you want. Put in the noodles that you like. It can be a soba, it can be mihun, miso, spaghetti, any type of noodle. And for vegetables, I would suggest those that can be cooked easily, quite fast. Because you won't boil your noodle for a very long time, like how you boil your porridge. So for noodle, you want it to be very easily cooked. Preferably green leafy vegetables, or mushroom also. Carrots, if you want it to be, to taste good, you have to slice it, thinly. If not, it will be very hard. Everything else already cooked, but your carrots is still very hard. Yeah, so preferably those that is softer. And also, not to forget protein as well. Protein, it can be anything. If you don't have time, maybe just crack one egg into a noodle, then you have your protein source already. So one pot noodle can be also very, very easily prepared and very convenient, very fast for a quick lunch or quick dinner. All right. So for those of you who cook, you can also do a very typical balanced meal that I shared just now. Have a protein. Preferably fish is the best source of protein, because it's like we know that it's quality, low in fat, high quality protein, and rich in omega-3. And have a vegetable, which can be a vegetable soup, can be stir-fried veggie, and also your steamed rice or steamed carbohydrates. So this will be a very typical balanced meal that you have. All right. So for snack, like just now I mentioned, fruit can be a very good choice of snack, similar to yogurt or low-fat dairy or milk. So instead of other snacks that you have, you can also consider, having just a serving of fruit, or just a cup of yogurt, or you want to have a combination of fruits in your yogurt, or you want to combine these two and make a frozen yogurt fruit popsicles also can. Yeah, so it's up to you. Yeah, this can be also a very excellent recipes for your children to enjoy a healthy snacks together. Right. Besides that, steamed legumes is also a very good snack choice, which will improve your sense of fullness for those who are managing your weight. Having steamed snacks like edamame is something that it's very, very low in calorie and very high in fiber, good for your gut health. Yeah, so just steam it or boil it. Or if you want to have chickpeas, which is also a very good choice for snack. All right, so talking about home cooked food, if you are considering to prepare your own healthy meal at home, these are some of the healthy cooking tips that I can share with you. First thing first, if you're preparing any animal protein, try to trim off any excess fat that you see. You can use the scissors to just cut off the excess, trim off the excess fat. If you choose those meat, you can choose leaner cut of meat, or just remove the skin and everything. Try to choose cooking method that use lesser oil, bake, grill, roast, slightly stir fry or pan fry, or even better, you have steam or boil, which mainly use water. And try to make use of the freezer. So freezer is always the best friend when it comes to cooking meals for busy schedules that you have. For those working adults, working moms, if you have some time to spare over the weekend, try to after you go to grocery shopping, come back from the market, try to spend a few hours in the kitchen to do some prepping ahead of time. For example, after you buy your chicken and everything, you try to portion everything nicely according to the portion that you want to eat per meal. So for example, you want to cook a lunch, usually you cook lunch for 2 persons, for 3 persons, up to you. For each portion, you pre-pack it into one container or one zipper bag, as you like. And also pre-marinate the meat ahead of time, put in any marination that you like. It can be fresh herbs, and also some pepper, some lemon juice, some curry powder, yogurt. Make sure that you have different flavor. Okay, just pack in different zipper bag and container. Put in the freezer in according to nicely portioned in the write the dates that you prepare. So during weekdays, it will be very, very easy, for you to just take out from the freezer. You can immediately defrost it in the microwave, just cook in the microwave, or in steam it, or lightly stir fry, or bake it, or air fry. Yeah, so there are so many methods. So it will save a lot of your time for those who want to still prepare your own meal during your working weekdays, right? So, and use a non-stick cookware if possible. Yeah. Try to make use of non-stick cookware, because this way you will save a lot of oil. For those who do pan frying or stir frying, this can help you a little bit to make sure that your dish is not too oily. And lastly, make use of your yogurt. Yogurt is something that is a magic ingredient in cooking, because you can use it as a dressing, as a sauce, as a base, to thicken up your dish instead of using let's say a creamer, or any type of heavy dressing in your cooking, right? All right. So if you are someone who usually go out to eat, dine out, I would say first thing first, we try our best to make sure that we hunt for vegetables. I understand that it's not easy, but at least there is a way that we can do it. I will always go around and see which are the places that will serve more veggie, which are the restaurants that I can possibly get some veggies, at least better than nothing when I eat out. Yeah. So for example, if you go to a typical restaurants, which of course there are different dishes like baked fish and all this, they will serve ulam, raw vegetables come together with the rice, and this is the best combination. Or those who even you can even order extra, request for extra veggies, or free flow of veggie. So this is the best place that you can go. Or even Indian banana leaf also is a very good choice, that they usually come with a lot of different types of veggie. And also, if you're eating together with your friends or family, whenever you order your main dish already, I understand that most main dish probably they don't come with veggie, but you can always order another side veggie, for example, in the middle to be shared, for everyone. Or for noodle soup, some noodle soups, they come with veggie. So this is also a chance for you to get more veggie when you're eating out. Or even the most convenient way is to eat, to have, let's say you're having mixed rice or economic rice. You always have the flexibility and the choice to have as much as veggie, what types of veggie you want, right? So even for, let's say you're eating Korean food, like Korean bibimbap is also a dish, that comes with a variety of veggie in good portion. Yeah, so there is always a different possibility out there that we can get vegetables. So this is the first thing when we consider when we are eating out. So next, if let's say you are eating out and there isn't any veggie available, you don't get to see any veggie, but minimally you can try to do something to at least separate the sauce. If try not to pour the sauce over the dish that you are having. Try to separate aside request for the sauce to be separated. This will help you to save a lot of unnecessary sodium intake and trans fat intake and calories intake, especially for those who are managing their weight, cholesterol level, managing their blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease. This is definitely something that we all can do. Yeah, try to go easy with the sauce, go easy with the especially the heavy sauce and the soup. Leave the sauce behind, leave the soup behind. Just have a little bit enough to go with the dish, and don't overly go over with the sauce. All right. Even it comes with the sauce, there is everything comes with the sauce. There is a choice. Try to go for lighter gravy, lighter sauce. So instead of those creamy type, let's say you have a choice of cream soup versus a clear soup. Always go for clear soup if you are considering of healthy eating, and also weight management and heart health. All right. So besides going for more veggies, beware of the hidden sauce and gravies. The next thing that we want to look at is, of course, your beverages, especially when you are eating out. So at home, we tend to drink lesser sweetened beverages as compared to eating out. So when we eat out, there's always, drinks coming along with the dishes. So my advice is, try to go for sugarless drinks as much as possible, as we know that sugary drink is one of the top contributor to poor diet, and of course the risk of death worldwide. So that's why, if that's possible, go creative with your sugarless drink. Even you're at home, put some lemon, put some lime into your drinks, into your water bottle, enhance the flavor. Or you prefer, you can go for tea, plain tea that's not sugary. If you want to put some stevia leaf, it's nice as well. There isn't any contributing factors to the sugars content or calorie content. Or if you're some coffee drinker, you can go for plain coffee, black coffee, without adding any other sugary component. Or you can also go for flower tea, any types of flower tea that you like. Or even a fruit or herb infusion drink, you can just put in any types of herbs or fruits that you like, cucumber, mint leaf, different fruits into your plain water, put it in the fridge, then you can enjoy it the whole day with a little bit of flavor from the fruits and the fresh herbs, but it's still a very healthy drink. Or the best drink is your plain water. Try to drink as much as you can. For water requirement, everyone needs different amount of water, but generally the best indicator is always to monitor your urine color. We try to achieve as clearer urine as possible. If you find that your urine color is always concentrated, darker color, then it high chance that you are having dehydration. So try to hydrate yourself more. Go to for urinate more frequent to lighten the color. All right. So we all know that, the theory part of the healthy eating, the quality part, the quantity part, the eating out choices, the cooking tips, I'm sure theory, it's very easy, but when it comes to practice, there is always signals coming from our body, especially when after you eat a healthy food, then after that your body will try to tell you that, oh, you are not full enough, you feel deprived. You still have that space for that dessert, after a very pretty decent meal. Yeah, so does that, I'm sure this may sound familiar for some of you, and in fact, some of you might suffer or struggle with all these mixture of feelings in your body. So the feeling of hunger, craving, desire is always there. It's always there. It's pretty normal. But what we need to do is that it's not that we cannot do something. There's always something that we can do, because there's always a time lag between our stomach, our body, and our brain after a meal. So for example, if you eat something, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to get the signal that you already get the food. You're already full, right? So one of the important things to practice, besides thinking of the food quality, the food choices, another part of it is to actually train your mind, is actually to eat slower. Try to observe, try to monitor how much time you spend to eat. I know somebody might be, someone who are pretty fast, fast eater. Some people eat pretty slow. So it depends. So after this, you can try and monitor your time, how long it takes for you to finish one meal. All right. Let's say if it's usually less than 20 minutes or even 5 minutes, you can finish one whole meal, then probably you want to consider practice mindful eating or eating slowly. Eating slowly means try to appreciate all the taste, texture, the smell of the food you eat. Sit down, focus on the meal that you have. Try to feel enjoy the meal, as in every single bite that you take. Try to reflect, or even better, you can also put down the utensils or put down your hand if you use your hand to eat. So to enjoy every single bite before you continue. Take a break. If you're eating with someone, you can take a break, talk to the person, then continue. Yeah, spend at least 20 minutes for a main meal. Yeah, this will gradually train our brain to get the signal of our fullness more efficiently. So after more practice, you will find that you will enjoy, eating the food more. At the same time, your craving, your hunger, your desire sensation will naturally be lower now, as the more practice you do, right? And besides eating mindfully and eating slowly, of course, portion control is something that it's all within our control. So even though you are going somewhere, there is some, for example, occasions, festive occasion, it's always normal to have all this. Life is not about healthy eating 100% all the time. Yeah. So there's always food that we want to try, want to enjoy, it's all right. As long as we are aware about the portion that we take, we are aware about the speed that we eat, aware about, how much we have eaten and how frequent we have eaten the food. It's all normal. Yeah. And if you have the chance, enjoying your desserts or enjoying your meals that is, it's considered not the healthy choices, but it's totally fine. You can even share them, with your loved ones. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very, very important to listen to your body, build a positive relationship with food. Although food is something that, is to nourish the body, for the body to do its optimal function, but not to forget that food is also part of our social life. Food is also can be part of our emotion reaction. Sometimes some people might eat more when they are stressed. Some people might eat more when they are angry, eat more when they are sad. So if you are someone who have tendency to eat more or eat less, when your emotion is affected, try to reflect back, separate emotion from your food intake. Try to think about food as something that nourishes your body system rather than food that can, food to feed your emotions, right? So this requires many trainings, but of course, mindful eating that I shared just now will definitely help. Yeah, so try to practice it on your own, to eat slowly and focus on your meal. All right. I believe this picture can be familiar for some of you who have tried different ways of so-called dieting. It can be a weight loss diet. It can be a certain clean eating diets that you have tried. You want to eat healthier. You put in all your efforts to eat more veggie, to avoid all the favorite tasty food that you had, to focus very, very fully on just healthy food. But when there's time that you crave for something, you just want to have some food that, the food that you miss the most and all this, that's the time when you have cheat days, then you start to cheat. Then when you start cheating, then it just become a vicious cycle that you keep on cheating. Then you feel bad for yourself, you feel guilty for yourself, then it just go back to another vicious cycle again. Then you start all over again, you feel bad, you want to restart, then you go for another round of clean eating again. Yeah, so this can happen to many of us, who try too hard to improve their diet quality. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that if you think about diet as short-term approach, then this will probably happen to you. But if you think about it as part of your lifestyle, it's something that you want to do it for the rest of your life, try to think about a way that is sustainable to do it. You won't be practicing this, clean eating and then binge eating, then clean eating, then binge eating for the rest of your life, just because you want to lose the amount of weight that you want. Yeah, sustainable eating is a mindset that will help you to sustain the habit that you want, take full control of, the frequency of the healthy food and unhealthy food that you want to take. It's all right to eat unhealthy food or tasty food, as long as you know how much you take, the portion, you feel proud of yourself because there's nothing to be guilty about to eat unhealthy food. And you also pressure, spend a very quality time on really focus on health. What are the healthy food choices that I can have at home or eating out? Then you have a good mixture of healthy versus a little unhealthy. food, in the long run, you can have full control and more healthy relationship with food. So a healthy diet is not about black and white. I'm diet now. Okay, so you don't ask me to eat unhealthy food. Until I finish my diet, then I go to eat the food with you. Yeah. So it's not about this. Healthy diet is about lifestyle. It's about a mixture of healthy and unhealthy food constantly. It's about you. It's not about a certain short period of plan that you want to do. It's a long-term lifestyle plan. So what we're aiming for is a flexible 80-20 rule. You can imagine it about 80-20. 80% of your meal is healthy. 20% of meal is less healthy, but it's okay, it's fine. This will keep you going to have the willpower, to continue. As a human, we are not going to eat 100% healthy food. Yeah, so mindful eating and flexible eating will help you to build a longer relationship and stronger relationship with food that's more sustainable to prevent disease or maintain your weight that you have lost. Yeah. So 80%, what is 20%? So some people might think that, 20% is, do I eat ice cream every day? Is it 20%? Yeah, so it's up to you. You can start off if, let's say every day, let's say you usually eat everyday ice cream, then now you want to reduce it to just 4 times a week. Yeah, then to you, that is already a very good start. Yeah. So, but roughly 20% is about, let's say you have 3 meals a day. In a week, it's about 21 meals. Then 20% is about 3 to 4 meals a day. So it can be like a Monday lunch with your colleague, or Wednesday dinner with your family, or Saturday brunch with your friends. Yeah. So it's completely fine. Yeah. So then if you plan ahead at full control, then you can enjoy your diet, healthy diet as part of a lifestyle as happily as possible. Right. So, right. So now here comes to an end. Let's do some recall, recap about what I've learned today. So first thing first about healthy eating is to eat a variety of food groups. So this is about quality. As many type of food groups as possible. Number 2, have whole grains. At least 50% of your grains to be whole grain. Try to start thinking about, considering you want to have some oats or some brown rice, multigrain rice in your daily diet. Number 3, 5 colors a day. Try to hunt for as much as veggie as you can, if possible. And number 4, eat minimally processed food, especially processed meat. Try to eat fresh meat, fresh fish, fresh egg, fresh plant protein as possible instead of bacon, sausages, ham. Yeah. Number 5, make sure that your quantity is well taken care of. Besides quality part, take care of the quality as well. Quantity as well. Balance your plate, divide your plate into at least 3 compartments. Have your protein, have your carbohydrates, have your fiber. And if you have chance to eat fruits, can add your fruits or have your fruits as a snack. Yeah. Number 6, go sugarless as much as possible. Go creative with your sugar. Take enough sugar. Go creative with your drinks. Get enough drinks, water every day. Monitor your urine color to make sure that you are getting enough hydration. Number 7, build a very positive relationship with food. Try not to eat for your feeling, but eat to nourish your body system to prevent disease. Number 8, have a flexible plan, a more sustainable plan rather than a short-term plan. Think about diet as a lifestyle rather than a dieting plan, right? So that's about it that I want to share today. Thank you so much for listening to me.